guys, welcome back to Almost Perfect with me, Amber.
And me, Tami. But we are going to be changing our name to Hangry History. We sort of have an epiphany about where we want to take this channel, and it's we want to take a look at food throughout culture and history.
Yeah, and I have so many exciting ideas in my head already, but I really want to hear from you guys. I'd love to have you guys influencing, the next videos.
And I don't want you to worry, we're not losing our sense of humor because we will still be having game day.
Woohoo!
Okay. Today we're going to be looking at the Great Depression and what kind of foods did they have to cook there in order to feed themselves and their families.
So we've chosen to do kind of a Great Depression lunch where we have a main course and a dessert.
Yeah. So our main course is going to be Bologna casserole.
Yay! I'm not a big fan of bologna, but it looks hearty, like it would have really fed the family well, and for cheap, so that's pretty cool.
It has a lot of beans, so there's some good amount of protein in it.
Lots of beans and a lot of bologna. I will mention now that there's 1.5 pounds of bologna. And then for dessert, it's called hot crust pie?
Hot water pie.
Hot water pie. And it's just a very basic ingredients to make a dessert.
Yep. So before we begin, we want to give you some information about the Great Depression. We came up with some facts, but first we need to tell you, Great Depression started October of 1929 and went through 1939.
The first fact we want to share with you is that Herbert Hoover was president at the time, and people who lost their homes often lived in what they called Hoovervilles, which were shanty towns. They used Hoover blankets, which were their newspapers, and they ate Hoover stew, which was the soup that they would get at soup kitchens. They also ate Hoover hogs, which was jackrabbits.
Okay, we're going to start with the water pie recipe because it takes the longest to bake, a whole hour. The oven is already up to temperature at 450 degrees.
Cool. So the first thing, it's actually really simple, and obviously that makes sense for the Great Depression. You start with 1 cup of flour. So we're putting that in. Oh, also this recipe literally says put everything in a bowl, mix it together, and then put it in the crust. So flour, then sugar. Sugar's 1 1/4 cup.
Another cool fact that you should know about the Great Depression, Chicago gangster Al Capone, one of the famous gangsters, opened a soup kitchen during this time. For millions of people, the soup kitchen was the only time they would see food throughout the entire day.
So the next ingredient would be 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. So I'll get that in the bowl.
Some other parts of the culture that changed in the Great Depression is women's dress. The dresses became less frilly so that people could actually afford dresses at this time. Women during this time actually became really into accessories because they can change their accessories and change their look without having to buy a new dress.
It's really awesome, and I love dresses and accessories. I love accessorizing. Okay, the next step would be 1 teaspoon of vanilla and a dash of salt.
How are you going to measure a dash?
Like this.
Like this?
I feel like a dash is a bit more than a pinch. I don't really know, honestly. Is this a teaspoon? Sure.
It looks like a tablespoon to me.
I don't think it is.
I mean, if this is 1/2 teaspoon.
Let's just do 2 of these.
Yeah, but, yeah, maybe that is.
1, 2.
So people might wonder, what did they do for fun during the Great Depression? Well, one of the things that people like to do is play board games. Specifically, in 1935, Monopoly came out.
That's cool.
It
Sorry.
is cool. Sorry. People really enjoyed this game because it made them rich. They had a chance of becoming rich for a little while, even if it's only in their own imagination.
So for the next part, you just do 1.5 cups of water and 1.5 cups of milk. So I'll pour that in.
I think one of the reasons this is called hot water pie is the water that's used within the filling, and the crust is also made with a combination of flour, lard, and hot water. So it was a really inexpensive dessert to make, and it made enough for the whole family.
All right, I'm going to have to get a whisk and mix it up. And then the next part says that after I mix it, I just put it in the shell and put butter on top. So I'm going to grab a whisk.
Another fun fact, the Great Depression, the Three Little Pigs came out and Walt Disney produced it in 1933. This was symbolic of the Great Depression because the wolf was the Depression, and the Three Little Pigs represented the average American citizen, or average citizen throughout the world, I guess, since it was a worldwide depression. And they eventually succeeded by working together.
All right, it looks interesting. It's a little bit clumpy, so I'm going to try to mix it pretty well so it's more runny.
It's very frothy.
Yeah, but it's like really watery. It's not a lot of...
I think it's supposed to be like a custardy pie. I hope it works out like a custardy
it's really
pie.
interesting because honestly, it feels like I'm just about to pour milk into a pie crust. Flavored milk. It's sort of like horchata. You know horchata? It's like rice and cinnamon and stuff.
I guess another good fact is make sure that your crust is not cooked at this point, because this will just soak into that cooked crust and that's your pie's done.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
All right, I'm going to try pouring this in. I'm going to switch these over here. Let me move some stuff out of the way so you can see the pour. Okay. Ooh, this isn't the best pouring bowl, apparently. Well, I don't know. This is interesting.
It's very cinnamony.
It's like really cinnamon milk in a pie. Then it said to put, what, chunks on top? Chunks of butter? Can you read that again?
It said to dot with butter.
I don't really know what that means, but we're going to go with it. How much butter is dotting? I'm going to do 2 of these.
Maybe cut those into like
4?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was going to say. Hey,
Boom.
great minds.
See, that must be what it is. We have a consensus, so
We're going with it.
we're going with it. All right. Cutting these.
So one more fact as she cuts the butter. Between 1930 and 1935, 750,000 farms were lost through bankruptcy.
This kind of is depressing. It really is crazy, like, what people have endured throughout history.
Look, it's dotting.
Yeah, see, I'm dotting. I feel like this is what they mean by dot with butter. Boop, boop. Oh, get in the middle. Okay. There.
Well, when you pick it up to put it into the oven, 1, it's going to spill all over your kitchen floor.
And 2,
The butter's going to move.
All right. Is it preheated?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready? I can open the door if you're ready to put it in.
Well, I'm really buttery, so let me wash.
Okay. I won't stop you.
Okay. I'm still really buttery. Okay. All right. You open the door. I'll put it in.
You don't really need those for a cold pie.
I know, but I'm buttery. I'm afraid okay, this is not safe. It's moving all around. Okay, I just spilled a quarter of our pie. So I'm not really helping them save money right now. Wow, this is kind of
Probably should have put
scary.
that down one.
Scary. You want it down one?
It's not in the middle.
Okay, go.
Burning through the glove. Okay.
Ow. So we're really, really good at this. Okay. Another. Oh my god. Okay, we're getting a pan to go underneath. This is too scary.
Alright, it's in.
I'm being really loud right now. Okay. That's in, but I'm going to get Let go. Something to catch it if it spills.
Too late.
Yeah, it's probably gonna start burning.
All right, 1 hour. So
Really?
yeah. Oh, we do 15 minutes now,
Yeah, and then you lower
and
the
then
temperature.
you lower the temperature. Oops. Do you just do that?
Timer again. Wait, timers. What?
Oh, that's 15 seconds.
All right, I will clean up our mess.
And we'll be back to you in
We'll
just
get
1
back to you in just a minute and show you how to make the main course.
So our entree for lunch today is the bologna casserole. Bologna was a staple meat, or became a staple meat during the Great Depression because it was inexpensive. So people switched to bologna. So that is what this is, a casserole, bologna casserole.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And like I said earlier, I thought it was really impressive that it's 1.5 pounds of bologna. I don't think I've ever made anything with 1.5 pounds of bologna.
No, me neither.
There's this giant slab right here.
Well, it can't be a giant slab when it goes in the casserole.
would be
It
weird.
needs to be cubed. So, and here we go.
Ta-da! All right, so
We are going to start this up. Medium-high heat. And I need my recipe.
she's getting her recipe, but I'm pretty sure there's bologna in it, so I'll
Yes.
bring it back to her.
Yeah, well, we need the bacon first, actually.
Oh.
Bacon first, because
Bacon.
the bacon has to cook. And
Wanted you to also know that in 1935, an early form of social security was implemented to help the senior citizens. And it looks like she's still stirring, so I'll tell you one more. In mountain communities of Appalachia, whole families were actually reduced to eating dandelions and blackberries as their basic diet. So their daily meal came from dandelions and blackberries. Some children actually were so hungry that they were known to chew their hands. All right, what do you need now, Tammy?
so the next thing that you put in here after your bacon is cooked is your onion and your green pepper, and we also need the garlic.
Garlic. Okay.
Garlic.
Garlic! All right, and we already diced them all up and everything. And here's garlic.
All right, and I do need a tablespoon for the garlic.
Tablespoon? I think it's in the soup. So the pie, it's telling us it's been 15 minutes and we need to turn the temperature down to 350?
350.
350. Tell a fact? You want to share a fact? Okay, so it is at 350 and for 45 minutes?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay, pie's still going.
Bacon is crispy, so we're gonna add in the onion and bell pepper to this mix,
It's starting to smell really good. I'm sure that they added bacon for the flavors.
and the garlic.
And lots of garlic. How much was it?
1 tablespoon of garlic.
Which I like, 'cause I love garlic. During the Great Depression, many people tried apple selling to avoid the shame of panhandling. During that time in New York City, just the city of New York City, there were more than 6,000 people selling apples. She's really loud back there. So, what do you need now, Tammy?
Well, right now we're just waiting for the vegetables to cook, but it looks good. It smells good.
Oh, it smells
The
so
next
good.
step is the Bologna. So
What I want
That's
right now is to just crack some eggs and put it on top. It looks really good, like breakfast.
speaking of eggs,
Oh,
we did a review on the egg. What was it called?
egg-tastical thing. I don't
It was
remember.
a Copper Chef.
Oh, there you go, the Copper Chef.
Chef.
And I told you that I would try 14 of the hard-boiled eggs in that machine. I did that this morning.
How'd it go?
They were perfect.
Oh,
They were perfectly cooked. Like the yolks were perfect.
how long did that take? It times itself, right?
It times itself. I just went and did something else as it worked, so I don't know exactly
What do you think,
how long.
like 10 minutes?
Yeah, probably something around
10
there.
minutes.
Maybe. Yeah,
So we
10,
already
12
gave
minutes.
that almost perfect, but that sounds pretty good.
It was so much easier, and the cleanup was easier, and that's how I'm making my hard-boiled eggs from now on.
That's awesome.
So
Cool.
you need one.
I'm probably gonna get one.
$14.99. That's all it is. I
$14.99.
believe so. Walmart.
$1 per
They
egg.
need to pay us now for like.
Yeah, you're welcome, Walmart. You're welcome, Seed on TV people.
You're welcome, Copper Chef egg thing.
Copper Chef egg tasticle thing. All right, so I don't
How
know
much time
what's
do we have?
next.
We have a couple more minutes before these are done.
Before
we put the bologna in here.
okay, so bologna's next. The Great Depression also changed the way, changed families in a lot of ways. Many couples actually delayed getting married, even delayed getting divorced, and birth rates dropped. Over the course of the Depression, 1.5 million married women were abandoned by their husbands. This was compounded by the banning of women that obtained jobs because society felt that they were taking the jobs away from the men. Honestly, this is all making me pretty sad. But I'm grateful that during the Depression, my favorite thing about this sort of history is the resilience of just humans, that we actually have been through a lot of dark history, but we've survived it all. And people even, found ways to survive and to eat and to thrive through all of these situations. Tell me when you're ready.
1 more minute.
Okay, in 1 more minute, so I'm going to tell you more. During the Great Depression, many people actually tried apple selling, but I've already said that. So I will tell you more in a minute.
Sorry, that was my bad.
Our producers, man. Okay. Is it time?
No. Yeah, it is. Well, let's just throw the bologna in here.
Bologna time.
You want to push it in there? Look at that cute bologna.
It looks a lot like Spam. And it's pretty similar. A cheap meat.
I'm really glad we got the bigger pan now.
Yeah, we were going to use the smaller pan. I'm glad she was thinking ahead. Well, while she fries that up, I'll talk louder because that fries really loud. Another fact we wanted to share with you is that several drought and dust storms, specifically the Dust Bowl, exacerbated the Great Depression. That's something that I've heard both about the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, and I should have known happened around the same time, but I didn't put those two pieces together, so I wanted to share it with you.
It was the Grapes of Wrath. That's what Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath is about, was the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, and people traveling the roads to California in search of that better life.
Yeah, it actually dried out farmlands and forced families to leave their farms. And in 1934, a dust storm carried about 350 million tons of dirt. 2,000 miles east, and dumped 4 million tons of prairie dirt in Chicago. That's crazy. 2,000 miles is like almost the entire United States.
Take that, Chicago.
So as we were cooking this, we decided we wanted to know how much money it is to prepare a meal in today's world. We came up with an average of $4 per person for one meal.
And that's like cooking at home, because when you go out to eat, a lot of times it's more than that.
Exactly. So that comes about $16 for a family of 4.
For one meal. And but in 1929, that was equivalent to like $59 today.
$59 for one person for one meal. So let's put this into perspective. It would be like a family of 4 spending $236 for one meal.
One meal. $236. Can you imagine going to a restaurant? Or that would be a feast if we spent $236. That's like Thanksgiving. And that's what we're eating today. And that's our norm. It's just very crazy to put into perspective. Cool. So I know the next things are pork and beans and chili. Do we give them at the same time?
Yeah, they go in here at the same time, and I'm ready for them.
Okay, I'll open them and bring them to you. So tell us what you guys think of this recipe. It smells really good, and it feels like it'd be really hearty.
Has a lot of beans in it because this is pork and beans and chili with beans. And following the recipe exactly because my husband tells me I have a Nazi adherence to rules, and that includes recipes. So.
Assisting the other can. That was probably loud. Sorry.
All right. I need a.
It's right behind you. Please.
Okay. All right. So this is all mixed. We just have to pour it into the casserole dish now.
You got it?
Okay.
It smells good. It smells kind of spicy now that we threw the chili in. We were talking about how it doesn't have a lot of it doesn't have salt or pepper or other normal spices, but we're sure there's lots of flavors inside.
And bologna has a lot of salt,
Yeah.
and so does the bacon.
So it probably tastes good just without those added things. Also, I think we need cheese.
Cheese.
Did it say how much, or are we just going to kind of throw it in?
It says a cup, but I'm not gonna. Cheese is cheese. Cheese makes everything better, so we're just gonna throw some on top here and call it good.
And fun fact, that is 1 cup of cheese.
Is it the whole thing?
That's 2 cups.
That's 2 cups of cheese. See that? 2 cups.
No, that's 1 cup.
Oh, that's
There you go.
That's a non-depression
There you go.
cup. This is a non-depression cup of cheese.
All right.
Cheese is the cure for depression.
Yes, cheese is the cure for depression. Okay.
All right. So this, I don't know where it's going. This bakes for 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and then it's ready to go. But we have to wait for our pie to get done baking before we can bake this. So we'll be back in a minute.
It's still really watery.
Is it really though?
Yeah.
All right, the pie is done, so we'll get that out of the oven. She's gonna try not to spill it this
It's
time.
actually still really watery. So I'm thinking I'm gonna set it on this tray and then bring it over because I think I could still spill it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's liquid. Maybe if it cools, then it will be solid. It's really strange. I told you it's like putting milk in a pie crust. Okay, I'm setting it down because I'm afraid to spill it and burn myself this time. Okay, that seems safer. Oh gosh, that's just strange, guys. I don't know if this is right. Do you see that it's still very milky? I think I might put it over here so we can show the viewer with the camera 2.
That camera 2's not on.
Alright, so there it is, and if I jiggle it at all, it swishes. That just seems strange to me.
We can have it bake more.
I wish this was live. I would ask you, should we bake it more? I don't know.
Our producer is saying no, we should just let it go.
Let it cool and see what it turns out as.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to raise the temperature of the oven by 50 degrees, put it at 400 so that we can put our casserole in then. Okay, our oven is ready. We're going to put the casserole in. Much easier than the pie.
A lot less scary.
Yes.
And how long does it suggest?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. All right.
So we're going to let that cook for 20 minutes. We're going to put the pie back in the oven for a little bit longer because pretty sure it needs to set. It's not supposed to be that runny.
It's supposed to be more custardy, and I poked it, and it feels like it's becoming custardy in the bottom, but the top's still very milky, so we're going to try it a little bit longer.
That's where we are. Okay, our casserole is done.
Yay! So we're going to take that out.
Yeah.
And then we can put our pie back in for a little bit longer. Ooh, that looks good. all
Pretty
bubbly.
excited. I am starving.
It's quite bubbly. You can hear it bubbling.
And you can put it under here.
Yeah.
Put this back in
I shall show you. All right, and this time we're going to keep it on the big tray so we don't dump it in the bottom of the oven, because when we cooked it the first time we had smoke billowing out of the oven for a little while. All right, so it's still really watery on top, but we'll keep it in there.
You need another 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, let's do 20 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry. Bubbly. Bubbly. And beanie.
Yum.
It's bubbly and beanie.
Should we get a couple plates?
Yeah. It actually looks pretty hearty and pretty yummy, especially for it being like a cheaper meal. It looks like lasagna, kind of.
That's only because all you see is the cheese.
The cheese. Does that seem good?
It's fine. If we decide we want more, there's more.
I think I need a smaller spatula. I think I have one.
Or just a spoon would probably be just fine.
Yeah. We'll use the large spoon. All right. One. Ooh, so hot. Don't touch the pan. Don't touch the pan. It's really hot. I imagine that he really could probably substitute.
It's probably good. That's like twice as much as what's over here. Not that I wanted more on.
It's probably, you could probably make this same thing with hot dogs instead of
Hot dogs was another.
bologna, because
they got a lot of recipes for using hot dogs.
yeah, hot dogs and bologna because they're a cheaper meat.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Forks.
Forks. Sean, do you want to be on camera?
No.
Okay. He will eat it over in his lonely corner. But don't be depressed. All right, it looks really hot. We almost need to let it cool off a little.
Wait. Looks like Sean's gonna take the first bite.
All right. I'm going to see his reaction. Looks really good. We'll let him be the guinea pig.
Yeah. Maybe we don't want to try this. We'll wait.
We'll wait and see his.
See if we really want to eat this.
So am I the life serial Mikey of depression cooking?
Yes. You're the cupbearer.
Mikey will eat anything.
You're the cupbearer, the one who eats it before the queens. His face looks.
Oh, he
not
has the
so
nod
good.
of approval. All right.
All right.
So,
Is it hot?
It's good.
Okay.
All right.
Are you feeding me?
No, I'm not feeding you. I'm just
I
gonna
thought she was
clean.
going to feed me and be romantic. Clink.
Clink.
Oh, yeah. It actually tastes really good.
It tastes like chili.
It tastes, yeah, it pretty much tastes like chili. Cheesy chili with
It is full of flavor. It doesn't need salt and pepper.
at all. It's very salty.
So I actually might make this again. I won't like. Wait, I have another pound and a half of bologna, so I'll be
Yeah,
making
she
this
has
again.
another pound and a half of bologna. So, Sean, you can have this again soon. I can see why they would have made this in the Depression for, like, it would fill you up. It's a cheaper meat, and honestly,
It makes quite a bit.
it makes a lot, and it tastes good. So it's not bland or boring. So that's good. It would make me feel less depressed. And I don't really like bologna, but this is good. It has so much flavor added to it that I don't mind it.
The bologna gives it a good texture, I think.
It really does.
Right. We'll be back after the pie is done.
All right, so the timer went off again for the pie. We're just going to check in and see if it seems like it's custard now, or if
It's pie-y or watery.
or milk-y. So yeah, well, let's look. Oh my gosh, it's just so watery. We're not ready.
Nah, not ready.
Okay, we'll be back.
All right, 15 more minutes has gone by. We're going to check it one more time.
And how long has it been? An hour and...
So it's been like an hour and 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, and, yeah.
Oh, it's still really wiggly.
And
I would just pull the, that out instead. I mean, I'll try the knife in it and see.
Is it more?
So have you guys noticed that we have this side video thing so you guys can see what we're doing? We thought it was funny in our last videos. It looks like we have paparazzi. So we're trying to make things bigger and better. It does feel like there's like
The custard
custard in it, but I still think it's not done.
Well, no, it's not, because
Yeah.
you can see it.
But it's more. You can kind of see the custard now. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
I say put it in for longer. However, unlike the last, what's it called? I don't know, the bologna thing.
Bologna casserole?
Yeah. Unlike the bologna casserole, which tasted delicious and made me happy, not depressed, this is starting to depress me. It's taking a really long time, and if I was hungry, I would be like,
Recipe said an hour.
today.
It's been an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess they learned patience. But man, seriously, if I was hungry from the depression, this would be really frustrating.
Well, if you were hungry, you wouldn't really be making a pie, though, either, so.
That's true. I guess this would be in addition to, but still. All right, try it again. We'll put it in for, what, another 15? What do I do, 5? 10?
I don't think 5 minutes is going to make that go away.
Can you just pour the top part off?
But it has all the spices. Oh, that's hot. Okay, I say 10. 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Oh my gosh, I pushed it too fast. Definitely cook it with a pan underneath it, because it's messy.
All right, we'll be back.
10 minutes.
All right, so the pie's still baking. We're not sure how long it's going to take. It's been going on for about, I don't know, hour and 50 minutes.
Times 500 years.
So we're just going to get back to you about the pie, hot water pie. Not as easy as we thought it would be. And
Thanks for watching Hangry History.
be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
See you next time.
So before we begin with our cooking, we want to give you some facts about the Great Depression. And of course, it started in October of 1929, and it went through the end of 1939.
So, to start off, we learned that I'll try. Don't you start?
So before we begin, we want to give you some information about the Great Depression. It started...
You have to start over because I can't laugh when you say Great Depression.
You're really great.
Yeah, you said Great